Hi, I'm Andrew, and that's Will. Today, we're going to be teaching you about pipettes in our class, Pipettes 101. But first,
Safety.
Safety always comes first, no matter what. For this experiment, we're only going to be working with water, so we're not going to need to use our aprons. If you've never taken a chemistry class or you don't know what a pipette is, no worries. We are here to help you. We are here to be your guides in this treacherous journey of chemistry class. Whoa! Now, we're going to teach you about 4 different types of pipettes, and the only ones you'll probably see in this class. 4. We're talking to you about the Pasteur pipette,
serological pipette,
the disposable pipette or the barrel pipette, and the volumetric pipette. Strap on in and enjoy the ride, because we're going to teach you about pipettes. This thing right here is probably the pipette that you will use the most, called the barrel pipette or the disposable pipette. Typically made of plastic, it's not really used for quantitative measures, although this one and some others do have markings on them. This right here, as you can see, are the markings on the stem of it. This is 0.5 and this is 1 whole milliliter. Now, the time which you would use these are for an experiment such as spectroscopy, like filling a cuvette. Because there's no quantitative data, it's just going to say on the directions, put a small amount. And a small amount usually implies you're going to be using this. And there you have it. Pretty much just transferring stuff in a non-quantitative way just to transfer materials to a different solution. Now, I would use a real cuvette, but unfortunately we're a 35-cent film budget, so we have to resort to using this Dixie cup. Don't go away, because my boy William Foote is going to teach you about the Pasteur pipette, its uses and functions. Stay tuned and don't go away.
Next is the Pasteur pipette. And while it's very similar to this plastic barrel pipette, it's also very small and used for qualitative analyses as well. Because you can't really measure how much is going in or how much is going out, all you use this for is more accurate placings of what you are transferring. Now, moving on.
Before I go on to explain the volumetric pipette, I'm going to be talking about the manual pipette filler. This thing is revolutionary. Let me tell you, no longer do scientists have to suck up and use mouth pipetting, which was never okay. That violates all rules of safety here at Turlock High School. This manual pipette filler works like this. You're going to place it in... Oh, did I mention that it can work with any pipette, even this one? The Pasteur pipette, which my boy William Foote talked about. Any pipette. What you're going to do is this. You're going to put it inside the water. Let me move this barrel pipette out of the way. Like this. What you're going to do is you're going to roll the wheel up. What it does is it creates a vacuum and suction. It's going to suck up the water to give you a more accurate measurement. And then what you're going to do is see this little nifty button right here? You're just going to press it down once you have the most accurate measure possible and... There you go! That's a manual pipette filler. Now, I'm going to be talking about the volumetric pipette. This is the volumetric pipette. This is the most precise pipette that you will use in this class, and the reason being is that you can go to up to 4 significant figures because you can control how much water can go above or below this line right here. Unlike that of a
serological pipette,
this pipette can only transfer one extremely precise quantitative measurement. In this case, it'd be 25, marked by this graduation line right here. However, they do come in 10s, 25s, and 50s, typically. You won't be using this pipette too often in this class, but you'll be using it if you're trying to make a base stock, solution out of a base stock and or for titrations, which you definitely will be doing. Now, this pipette works as I demonstrated how the manual filler works, exactly as it is. I would normally fill this up to this line right here to get a very accurate 25 milliliters or 0.025 liters. Unfortunately, it takes about 10 minutes to fill it up and drain it out, so you can just reverse back to what I showed you in the manual pipette filler. Now we're going to be talking about the serological pipette with my boy William Foote.
But finally, and most importantly, is the serological pipette. And similar to the volumetric pipette in that it transfers a specific amount of liquid, what this does and what makes it better than the volumetric pipette in the lab usage is that you don't have to use only 25 milliliters, but instead you can measure anywhere from 0.1 milliliters to 10 milliliters. Next, I'm going to explain what it means when it says 10 milliliters and 1/10. And if you look really closely, you can see that it says that, but it might be confusing. What that means, however, is that it can hold a maximum of 10 milliliters in this serological pipette, and that each of these graduations is 1/10 of a milliliter. So if you know that there are 1/10 of a millimeter, you can estimate to the closest 100th of a milliliter. But now, for the grand finale, I will be illustrating just how accurate this pipette is, and I won't even have to look while doing so. Voila.
So if we take the bombs and we shoot them into the sky, because gravity doesn't exist, because like we never went to the moon and everything, because gravity doesn't exist. If we shoot them at the moon, eventually they will hit it and it will explode, as depicted here. So on my leader, is it recording?
I don't know, did you press record?
No. Other board. Well, that's my sister kid. Other board. Welcome to Pipettes 101.
We hope you had a good time and that you've learned enough in this in order to get an A in your chemistry class.
Thank you so much for allowing us to teach you the things that you need to know. I'm sorry this video was not up to your standards, but you know what? We filmed it in about 2 hours. Thank you and have a nice day. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Will.
And good luck.
That was good.